You see it. Let's get into it. A top prosecutor in Virginia is outright refusing to back down against intense pressure from President Donald Trump to file criminal charges against New York Attorney General Letitia James. Elizabeth Yusi, who oversees major crime prosecutions in the Norfolk office of the Eastern District of Virginia, has informed her colleagues that she plans to decline to seek charges against James. UC has been crystal clear with coworkers, confiding that she simply sees no probable cause to believe James engaged in mortgage fraud, according to sources familiar with her internal discussions. If you've been following the news, you know that this kind of resistance comes at a serious risk. And here's the thing, everyone right now that is an attorney that Trump doesn't like, that he views as a political rival, as someone who will not let him just get away with whatever he makes up in his mind, legal or otherwise, he is saying they committed mortgage fraud. Funny thing is, there are people that he likes that have done the same thing that these people have done, which is 100% legal. And there are people who are in Trump's sphere that have done some illegal things regarding their mortgages. So, slippery slope. UC plans to present her conclusion to the president's new interim U.S. Attorney, Lindsay Halligan, in the coming weeks, but everyone is bracing for the top supervisor in Norfolk to be fired for her resistance. This whole situation is tragic as it highlights how career prosecutors are being forced to choose between honoring their oaths and risking their livelihood because of the administration's actions, per MSNBC. But here's the thing, I've said it before, let me remind you of this again. Trump is systematically getting rid of the best in the federal government. People who chose to stand up and represent we the people. He's giving us the yellow brick road to being able to litigate our way out of his tyranny. And he doesn't realize that. Trump can't get someone to do his dirty work. Randall Eliason, a former top public corruption prosecutor, didn't mince words, saying that this supervisor clearly is doing the right and ethical thing by refusing to bend her legal conclusions to fit the president's desire for political retribution. The fact that this is even a possibility shows just how politicized the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Virginia has become. It's essentially a flashpoint in the Trump administration's persecution of his perceived enemies. The heat on UC and her colleagues is no accident either. Trump installed Halligan, an insurance lawyer who was previously his personal defense lawyer and a White House aide with no prosecutorial experience, to the top spot after firing the first acting U.S. Attorney, Eric Siebert. And keep in mind, Halligan is so green that even when she was representing Trump in front of Trump sycophant Eileen Cannon, she couldn't get things correct. Judge Cannon even told Halligan, hey, you didn't file this paperwork right. You didn't even, this isn't how things go. Go to this website, fix it, bring back. Had to kick it out again. Had to deny the motion. Halligan is just there to be the eyes and ears for the Trump administration, for Trump, to gauge who's loyal and who's not. Being qualified means nothing to him. Being good at your job means nothing. Look at Alina Habba. Stop giving up and stop saying he or the administration as a whole that they will just get their way. That's occurring because you're allowing it. You're giving up. You're not asking for your representation to fight for you. Regardless of political affiliation, you have the power. They fear being voted out. And you have to tell them where you stand. Right now, they're doing what they're doing because they believe that the majority are standing behind them because they're only hearing rah-rah from certain people. What they say about the squeaky wheel? Mm. Siebert also had the good sense to resist seeking fraud charges against James, and he later resigned after realizing he'd lose his job. And the DOJ declined to press charges because none of the investigations turned anything up. The Senate declined to recommend an investigation to the DOJ. If there was something there, don't you think Comer would have run the evidence himself to HQ? Sarah Young, October 2nd, 2025. Just a few days after Halligan took the reins, she sought and won the indictment of former FBI Director James Comey in a case that Siebert and other career prosecutors in the office considered too weak to charge. This move was a clear message to the office, and now career prosecutors are rightfully worried that their colleagues will be pressured to seek an indictment against James, or, you guessed it, risk being fired. And here's the thing, is this indictment against Comey going anywhere? Absolutely not. Will it matter? Absolutely not. Because most people in a few days are going to forget about it. They're not going to think about any upcoming court dates or the fact that this case just poof, disappeared. Because how many of you all forgot about Trump suing Fox News, Rupert Murdoch, and the Wall Street Journal? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Halligan has apparently been closely monitoring progress on the case, which I'd say is probably not helping morale in the office. This is all happening because Trump has publicly and repeatedly called for the Justice Department to criminally prosecute James, an attorney who, to be fair, successfully sued him and the Trump Organization for what she called a series of fraudulent business practices. She secured a 2023 civil fraud verdict excuse me, and a significant financial penalty. So there is clearly bad blood between them. And I need you all to wake up. Those of you all that keep denying and saying that it was the previous Biden administration that was weaponizing the federal government and specifically the DOJ against political rivals because Trump was out here breaking the law and he was being held accountable for it. This is the weaponization of the DOJ. But you know that. You're just banking on Trump viewing you favorably. When are you going to realize that the only person Trump views favorably is Trump?